Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to this video. In this video, we wanted to talk to you about the rise of Chinese beauty in Southeast Asia and how the Chinese cosmetics brands are challenging K-beauty's dominance through price, speed, and digital-first strategy. Let's start with the consumer shift that is being observed, which is from loyalty towards experimentation. Southeast Asia's beauty landscape is undergoing a quiet but a significant transformation. For years, the South Korean beauty products, commonly known as KBeauty, dominated the regional markets, riding a cultural wave driven by the K-pop, K-dramas, and well-established reputation of skincare innovation. Today, the dominance is being tested by an emerging challenger, that is the Chinese beauty or CBeauty. The shift is visible at the consumer level. Shoppers who once gravitated exclusively towards the Korean brands are increasingly open to Chinese alternatives, drawn by the competitive pricing and growing awareness of ingredient quality across the beauty ecosystems. The transition is not about abandoning the K-beauty altogether, but rather broadening the consideration set, a change that has meaningful implications for brands, for retailers, and for the investors operating in the region. What we are seeing is that South Asia is emerging as a strategic beachhead. South Asia has emerged as one of the most important overseas markets for the Chinese brands, and the reasons are structural rather than incidental. The geographic proximity reduces logistic costs as well as time to market, and the cultural similarities, particularly amongst the ethnic Chinese communities, provides a natural entry point. More fundamentally, the region's young, digitally connected population aligns closely with CBeauty's digital-first distribution strategy. Next, let's try and understand the three pillars of CBeauty's competitive advantage. Now, China's beauty supply chain has reached a level of maturity that gives its brands a structural speed advantage. The entire value chain, from research and development through raw materials, manufacturing, and packaging, is supported by specialized suppliers. Brands do not need to be vertically integrated for every function, enabling faster and cheaper product development cycles. The result is a remarkable output velocity. Both Judy Doll and Juicy together launch approximately 400 stock-keeping units per year, a pace that exceeds many Western and local Southeast Asian competitors. This rapid innovation cycle allows the CBeauty brands to respond quickly to emerging trends, a critical capability in an industry wherein consumer preferences shift very rapidly. The second pillar is the digital marketing and the platform strategies. The CBeauty's growth acceleration coincides with the expansion of the TikTok shops across Southeast Asia, starting in the early to mid-2020s. The parallels between the Chinese domestic e-commerce ecosystem built around the platforms like Douyin, Taobao, and Pinduoduo, and Southeast Asia's Shopee and Lazada landscapes mean that Chinese brands can effectively transfer their digital marketing playbooks with minimal adaptation. And the cultural dimension of this digital expansion is also significant. And then the third pillar is the structural price advantage. CBeauty's pricing advantage is not merely a promotional strategy but a structural feature enabled by the supply chain efficiencies and lower overhead. This pricing power is particularly impactful in Southeast Asia, wherein the value consciousness is high and consumers are becoming increasingly skeptical of the premium commanded by the luxury and established brands. And when we talk about the K-beauty comparison with CBeauty, it's about coexistence and not replacement. The framing of CBeauty versus K-beauty as a zero-sum contest oversimplifies the competitive dynamics. In practice, the two occupy different positions along several important axes, and their competitive intensity varies significantly by product category. K-beauty retains a clear advantage in skincare, where trust barriers are high and consumers prioritize efficacy and established reputations. South Korean brands also benefit from a cultural aspirational premium driven by perceived aesthetic relevance than by the country of origin. And some Chinese brands have attempted to tap by adopting K-style branding elements. The CBeauty strength lies in color cosmetics, wherein the combination of low prices, trend responsiveness, and packaging innovation creates a compelling value proposition. Next, let's talk about navigating the regional complexity, the challenges, and the localization. First and foremost, the safety perception gap. The most significant barrier to CBeauty's growth remains consumer perception around the safety and quality standards. The second challenge that we wanted to focus on is market saturation and differentiation. Southeast Asia's personal care market is already crowded, and simultaneous entry of multiple Chinese brands creates internal competition that may dilute individual brand impact. Standing out requires more than competitive pricing, it demands genuine localization. And the third challenge is the offline imperative. While e-commerce has been CBeauty's primary growth engine, Southeast Asia's retail landscape differs fundamentally from China's. Shopping malls remain central to the product discovery and purchase, particularly outside major urban centers wherein e-commerce penetration is lower. We hope that you've enjoyed the preview edition of this topic. If you like this edition and you want to know more about the topic and understand it in detail, head on to pallavicycle.com